MTSU is a good team, and it's a great game for us, and I think it's good for the state, and it's been a great preparation for us to go into our league play.
There's a lot of excitement in the mid-state about this game. The Final Four is in Nashville this year. Tennessee's playing some other schools from around the state. If you would kind of talk about the excitement about women's basketball in our state and what these kind of events do to help.
Well, yeah, I think women's basketball, starting at the high school level and then you go to the AA programs and in college, I think it's a state where they love women's basketball, they love girls basketball, and I think they support whoever plays, wherever you play. I think it's always been a big turnout, and I think it'll be a huge turnout when we have it in Nashville, and I think the fans understand the game. They're willing to come out, and they just love women's basketball.
Last year you had a tough game against MTSU here, winning in overtime. Talk a little bit about the team you played last year, what you saw from them during the season last year, and then coming into this game, what you see from this year.
Well, I think there's a standard that Rick, the coach Insel, has, and I think he does a great job preparing his team, whoever's on the team. So I think from last year, they hit big threes, they played great defense, the inside gave us problems. So I would anticipate the same thing happening this year. Very well coached, prepared to play us.
Last year you guys opened up on the road with the loss to Chattanooga. What do you remember about that game? What do you remember about the feeling of the girls maybe not being, were they not prepared, or what attributed to that?
That is a great question, and I think probably I didn't have them prepared for that environment, and hopefully we have gotten them to that point. I just think we played against a veteran UTC team, and we started off inexperienced, and we dug ourselves in a hole, and we couldn't get out of it. And we weren't ready. We weren't ready mentally. We weren't ready physically. I just don't think we anticipated that UTC would give us that kind of fight.
How did it change you as a coach, or the way that you prepare for the game?
Well, I just, you think you're prepared, but you play in that environment. I think as a coach, you go and play in so many different hostile environments as you can to get ready to go in the SEC and go on the road. So you just go back to the drawing board, look and see what beat you, look and see what you had a hard time with, and just try to correct it and do it on the practice court.
Do you feel like this team is more prepared this year for this first game than you were last year?
Well, I think we're more experienced. I mean, we've got players that had a lot of different starting lineups last year. A lot of people played, so I think our experience. I think we're way ahead of where we were starting off last year.
How much have you brought up? Do you plan to bring that game up at all this week? Is that something you're...
No. We're focusing on MTSU, and I think we know the challenge ahead. We've brought up how they played against us going into overtime. So those are things that we're gonna rely on for us to recall and get us ready. But I don't, UTC, maybe when we play UTC at home, we'll probably bring that up.
Do you feel like there's really no need to? I mean, is it still pretty fresh in everyone's mind?
Oh, I think it's fresh. I think both games are fresh, and I think these players understand. They have a little bit more of a maturity about them, and I think they understand the sense of urgency in us to be prepared to go in. I think it's going to be a hostile environment at MTSU.
Did you like that starting lineup that you used on Monday? And if so, what did you like about it?
I did. I thought they got us off to a nice start. I thought we for the most part, played aggressive defense. So it's an experienced group. And so do I anticipate that being the lineup all year? I don't know. Probably not. I think it's going to change depending on who we play and what the results we want.
Do you think it's a good lineup, though, for going into an opener on a
I think so.
I think
so. I think that those five are comfortable with it. I think the people who are coming off the bench are comfortable with it as well.
Beating a team by 80 may be hard to gauge where this team's at, but what did you find when you went back and looked at the film that you liked that you didn't like against Carson?
Well, you don't look at the score because it is an exhibition game, and you look at execution. Did we play hard? How hard did we play? Did we guard different concepts the way we wanted to? So you go back and look at those. How was our help side defense? So you just break it down to put it in terms of what you've been trying to focus on, and did we do it or not?
After watching the film, what do you think?
I thought for the most part, I thought we played exceptional, and that's just from pushing the ball, playing tough defense. We've really been focusing our defense and guarding penetration and those type of things. So I think we did some really, really nice things.
What are you most interested in learning about your team, Friday? I mean, what's the biggest question you kind of have going into the season just about this team?
Well, I think probably, do we have the maturity to win on the road? Especially our first game. Do we have that maturity? Do we have that focus? So, I like our numbers. I like 10, and we're playing everybody. I just want to make sure that we can handle any adversity that's thrown at us.
So when you're facing a Middle or a Chattanooga or something, these are quality in-state programs. Players, and probably saw some of these players at
Correct.
AAU, but
Yep.
probably weren't necessarily recruited by UT.
Right.
How much of a chip is there kind of a chip on the shoulder type thing you're going into? Yeah, that's right.
Well, I think that I would think Middle would be excited to play us. And look, we're UTC went to the tournament last year. Middle went to the tournament last year, played well. So we by no means are taking these guys lightly just because we didn't recruit any of these kids. I mean, they fit into his system. Would they necessarily fit into ours? Maybe not. But I think we're going to go in it like it's a game that we need to win, and we're going all out.
Was it your decision just to play one exhibition this year rather
Yeah.
than two? What was the thinking behind that?
I just wanted another home game that we could that could count and give it a little bit more of a game atmosphere. So
you wanted to trade up a regular season game then?
Yep.
Did
I just wanted to play one exhibition game.
You felt like that was enough?
Yeah, I do.
The freshmen looked pretty good in that Carson Newman game, at least to us. How did they look to you, and did you like what you saw?
I loved what I saw. I think they were really nervous. I mean, they played in front of 10,000 people at an exhibition game, so I think they were nervous. But for the most, I thought they played hard, and that's what we ask them. And I thought Jordan did some great things. Mercedes did some great things. We had some teaching moments. So all in all, I think they came in and got a little jitters out, and I think they'll be ready to go.
You're laughing and smiling. That means that you must be happy as a coach that the freshmen made that game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Those two kids have fit in. They're very highly intelligent. They had a great high school coaches, so they understand where you want to go and what you're trying to do. So they're multi-talented kids. They can play outside, they can play in. So I love their energy, and I love their love for this program.
So you don't have any concerns about them going on the road then and playing in a hostile environment?
Well, I think they've been in hostile environments. I just think that they settle down and they play the way they're supposed to play.
Are there any teaching moments you learned from watching the tape in terms of how they played with the way the game's officiated that you brought?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we've really worked on using our hands and not obviously hand checking and those types. I didn't think that we did that as much. So you just got to adjust, and if they're going to call it, we're going to have to learn to play with our feet more, and that's how you play defense. You play with your feet and get down in the stance.